Okay, ready? This LinkedIn post got me 46,000 views. In this video, let's break it down and practically implement it. Before we do that, yeah, as you can see, the traffic is getting into this service and then it's distributed to these two nodes, I'm sorry. And the IP table rules inside these two nodes is basically distributing the traffic between these two pods, right? So Iptables is a Linux firewall basically. It creates rules to control the traffic that's coming onto the node. In this case, we are looking into something specific to the load balancing. With that said, let's get into the practical. Right, so this is my setup here. Right now, I have a deployment with two pods running and it's working on port 80, and we have a service here that's essentially load balancing the traffic between the two pods that are created in this step. Now let's look at our current setup. I would want you to see that you have two pods here set up on two worker nodes, right? And let's also look at the service here. So this is the service that I'm running, and this is the IP for the service that we are running here. Okay, with that said, let's get into the control plane and then let me demonstrate the load balancing part. So I'm connected to the control plane and then I'm doing a just simple for loop. I'm trying to connect to this service that running on our Kubernetes cluster just to demonstrate that the load balancing is properly working, right? Okay, this is working fine. I'm connecting to the other pod. For some reason it's not working. Let me just copy this, right, and the second pod. So you guys can see the load balancing is happening. Hello. Oh yeah, so there you go, the load balancing is happening. So let me just disconnect it and let's go back to the main part where you would want to see how the load balancing is actually working. So you have the IP tables. This is the NAT table that we have, and this is the kube services, the chain is basically created by Kube-proxy. This is where the rules are actually sitting in. So let's just run this, and then you can see these chains that are coming across, and you have, so this is the one that we are looking at, and this is the service that we are talking about. And if you can see, we should extract the information from here. What we should understand what's happening here, right? It's basically the same rule, it's already there. So let me just run this. So as you can see, any traffic that's coming to this specific IP, it's the cluster IP of the service that we are running, and this is distributed between these two pods, which is 1.2 and 2.4, right? Which these are the pods that you just looked into, right? These two pods are getting the traffic between these two services, right? Now bear in mind that if I terminate one of these pods, the rules get updated automatically. Okay, now let me just do that for you so that we can look into it. So we have two pods, which is 2.1.2 and 2.4. Let me just kubectl delete pod. I'm just deleting, okay, sorry, kubectl delete pod. I just deleted this pod, and then let me just run kubectl get pod. So there's this new pod, it's already running. Now let's get back to our control plane and look at the rules here. So yeah, this is updated here. So the traffic will be distributed. Now you can say that this is the control plane. How would this work? This would work the same for the worker node as well, right? So let me go to the worker node and then run the same command here, iptables, and you should see the updated rules, right? That's my time for today. See you next time. फिर मिलेंगे. मलिक